Hey guys, it's your average middle-aged American back again with another reaction video. This one comes from Switzerland. My quest to check out some of the best castles in Europe. We've done a video on European castles. We've done a video on Spain, castles in Spain, Spanish castles. And now we're looking at castles in Switzerland. If you're new to my channel, I'm an average middle-aged American, plans on doing a lot of traveling with my wife to Europe and possibly other areas, but mostly focused on Europe. And we're just trying to gather as much information as we can, learn as much as we can about other countries and other cultures before we get on a plane. Obviously, flying to Europe and staying in Europe is quite expensive, so we're just kind of taking it one step at a time and trying to kind of prioritize where we want to go, what we want to see. My subscribers have been wonderful. Right now there's about 700 of you. I'm shooting for 1,000 is our goal, and can't thank you enough for all the support, the information, comments, conversations. We have a fantastic subscriber base, and I just learned so much. Can't thank you enough. I learn every day. Even days I don't watch videos, I still learn from the comments. I read every single comment. So, anyway, let's check out these castles in Switzerland. Enough jibber jabber. Let's get on with it.
Switzerland's long history of armed neutrality has produced some of the best preserved castles in Central Europe. You can also find some of the most spectacular castles and strongholds that proudly sit amidst the picturesque panorama. Switzerland is famous for its military neutrality, which can easily be observed through the extraordinarily well-preserved castles, many of which date back to medieval times. In this video, we explore the most beautiful castles in Switzerland. We've collected a list of the top most beautiful castles in Switzerland.
That doesn't even look real. That, like, you know what that looks like? That looks like an animation cell. Have you ever seen where they have they've got a backdrop and then they put a piece of clear plastic laminate, whatever it is, you know, with an animated figure in front of it. That's kind of what this looks like because of the background. That's crazy. Can you imagine living there? I mean, could you just imagine? I'm not big for snow. I don't like cold weather, but I imagine you could get a pretty good fire going in that place. And that's your view. It's just beautiful. It's amazing. If they miss any castles in here that you think should have been in this list for Switzerland, put them down in the comments. If you got any other videos on castles you think I should check out. Castles and cathedrals, that's kind of my thing. Churches, cathedrals, architecture, symmetry, castles, all that. I'm into all that. We knew as a little kid, even when I had Legos, as a little kid, I always built castles. No matter what I was supposed to build, somehow I'd make a little castle out of it. So I get it. I'm all into courtyards. Like if we ever build a house, which is quite expensive and quite frankly we can't afford to do that, but if we ever got to that point, courtyard is definitely high on my list. And a lot of castles seem to have courtyards, which are cool. All right, let's get on with it.
So make sure to include them in your list if you're a visitor. At first in the list, number 1, Chateau de Chillon. The most visited historic building in Switzerland, the Chateau de Chillon, is on a rocky offshore island in Lake Geneva. From the 12th to the 16th century, The Counts of Savoy controlled traffic on the lake from the aquatic stronghold. With its soaring outer walls and multiple towers, Chillon conjures up images of storybook castles. However, the fortress also served as a state prison for much of its existence. You'll want to spend several hours exploring the courtyards, great halls and bedrooms that make the Chateau de Chillon the most famous castle in Switzerland. Number 2, Terrasp Castle. Perched on a hill overlooking a small hamlet of the same name, the Castle of Terrasp is located in eastern Switzerland between the borders of Austria and Italy. Parts of the structure date back to the 11th century when the region was under Austrian rule. Today, the citadel is privately owned, but you can still view many beautifully restored rooms, including the castle chapel, through scheduled tours. The castle grounds offer sweeping views of the lower Engadine region's pristine lakes and alpine mountains. Number 3, Oberhofen Castle. Jutting out over the waters of Lake Thun in the Swiss canton of Bern, Oberhofen Castle has a fairy tale charm that's hard to resist. Construction on this turreted palace began in the 1200s and continued for centuries, resulting in an appealing assortment of architectural styles. The castle's carefully restored rooms and gardens now serve as a living museum for visitors. Standout features include a Turkish smoking parlor and a 13th century chapel adorned with Romanesque frescoes. Number 4, Aigle Castle. Located in the vineyards near the southeast shore of Lake Geneva, Aigle Castle was built by the Knights of Aigle at the end of the 12th century. Fortifications like a curtain wall and central keep were added in the 13th century.
All right, guys, is the grass really that green? I mean, it's pretty saturated in color, or has this been kind of photoshopped into being a little more vivid and vibrant than it really is? Let me know. It is beautiful. Just beautiful. I don't know how, manipulated the picture is, but as it sits, it's beautiful. It looks like Swiss castles aren't they're almost practical. They're not like ginormously out of whack, as far as size, and it looks like Swiss castles are kind of conservative, kind of super practical for what they are, rather than being ominous or overtaking the area, I guess is what I'm trying to get to. They look like almost like really nice houses that are a little bit bigger and a lot more, structurally sound. It's like a modest castle, almost like they're trying to blend in opposed to be the focal point. Pretty cool.
In the 1970s, the municipality of Aigle renovated the castle and opened it to the public as the Vine and Wine Museum. Visiting the museum lets you view original artwork painted in the 16th and 17th centuries. Number 5, Tourbillon Castle. Sprawled out along the crest of a rocky peak overlooking the city of Chaon, the ruins of Tourbillon Castle date back to the 13th century. Built when the Roman Catholic Church held sway in the southern region, Tourbillon Castle served as the residence of the Bishop of Chaon. Although the castle was laid to ruin by a fire in 1788, a 15th century chapel ornamented with frescoes survived the blaze. The climb up to Tourbillon Castle is steep, but the stunning views from the battlements make the trek well worth the effort. Number 6, Castelgrande. The oldest trio of castles that climb the hills of the city of Bellinzona, Castelgrande, was built on a site first fortified in the 4th century. Easily identified by its striking white and black towers, the newly restored medieval castle stands on a flat-topped hill near the town center. In addition to a flight of steps, a recently installed elevator makes it incredibly easy to access and explore the castle. Open all year, Castelgrande Castle also features 2 restaurants and a courtyard that's perfect for warm weather picnics. Number 7. Rapperswil Castle. Surrounded on 3 sides by Lake Zurich, the old town of Rapperswil and its 13th century castle once played a vital role in controlling the passage of ships on the water. Over time, the triangular-shaped keep fell into disrepair, and in 1870, it was leased by a Polish emigrant named Count Władysław Rollplater. The Count restored the castle and opened it as the Polish National Museum. Touring the museum offers a rare glimpse of interiors, from staterooms to dungeons, all restored to their original medieval glory. Number 8. Vufflens Castle.
There you go.
The pride of its namesake village, the Vufflens.
No, that's cool. That's a cool castle. Some of these aren't real impressive to me, to be honest with you. I appreciate the age and you know what they are, but I don't expect a castle to look perfect. But there's a big difference between some of these and some of the ones we just looked at in this one. This one's cool.
The pride of its namesake village, the Vufflens Le Chateau, is a 15th century castle best known for its high central tower. It's considered one of the best examples of the Vaud fortresses built in the late Middle Ages. Although the brick structure with mammoth square towers is privately owned and not open to visitors, you can take in its splendor from the surrounding countryside. Located a short distance from the northern shore of Lake Geneva, a stroll through the nearby vineyards offers picturesque views of the castle.
That's
Number
cool.
9. Castello di Montebello. Perched atop the hills of Bellinzona in the Swiss canton of Ticino, Montebello Castle is one of 3 fortresses that once protected the ancient city. The castle was built in the 14th century, expanded in the 15th century and renovated to its current state in the early 1900s. The castle is now home to the Civic Museum, which includes archaeological artifacts from prehistoric burial sites in the region. Well-maintained walkways on the castle's battlements let you enjoy panoramic vistas of the city. At last in the list, number 10, Spies Castle. One of the oldest castles in Switzerland, Castle Spies, was built in 933 when much of the western area of modern-day Switzerland was ruled by Italy. Construction on the original continued for
1,000 years ago. This thing was built. More than 1,000 years ago. I mean, it's insane. If you were to build one of these today, you know, you got an architect, you got a structural engineer, you got a landscape architect, you got, you know, a general contractor, you've got all the tradesmen. It would be a monster project today with all the technology and all the tools and everything. Any of these castles would be a monster project. Today, a high-end home in America, custom home in America, will take anywhere between 1 and 3 years to build, depending on how high-end, how big, where it's at, etc. So imagine building a castle. I mean, it could be a 10-year project today and cost a fortune with all the right tools and all the right computers, and just blows my mind. This stuff was all just done by hand. I mean, they couldn't even work at night. They didn't have electricity. They didn't have lights. They didn't have any. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna build a castle by candlelight? Crazy. Just blows my mind.
For 6 centuries, offering a unique opportunity to view various architectural styles. The ancient castle church, for example, exemplifies the early Romanesque style. The courtrooms were built at the height of the Renaissance era. The southern addition in the elaborate Baroque style was finished in the 18th century.
Look at that. I mean, it's just unreal.
Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite, most beautiful castles in Switzerland? Is there something we missed? Let us know in the comments section below.
This reminds me of the Bellagio in Vegas. I don't know if you guys been there or not, but it's hard to believe this used to be a prison. I think this one's my favorite castle so far in Switzerland. I gotta tell you though, you guys aren't gonna want to hear it, but I still think Germany's got the castles. Tell me somewhere else. I'm looking all through Europe for good castles. So you let me know. Who's got castles? I like this one though, out of the Switzerland ones. And it's privately owned. Must be nice. It must be nice. They're probably not listening to their neighbors getting too loud at their pool party. So cool. So cool. All right. Let me know, guys. What did I miss? Then give me some better castles in Switzerland, some better castles in Europe. Give me some links, videos I should check out. Comments, how do I improve? Thumbs up, subscription. It's always appreciated. And I'm going to keep looking for castles in Europe. If you're new to my channel, it's anything and everything that interests me as an average middle-aged American. I'd like to learn about other countries and other cultures. Kind of explain to people more about America. Correct some misinformation when I come across it about America. I am American. I'm proud to be American, but I also want to check out the rest of the world and learn about the rest of the world. Wife and I plan to do a lot of traveling as we go into retirement and in retirement. And Europe is very interesting to us. Trying to gather as much information as I can, learn as much as we can before we go, so that we make, informed decisions on what to see and when to see it. So check out my other videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Thumbs up goes a long way. Got tons of videos on Europe. Playlists are very detailed, so you can sort by country or you can sort by continent. And that's about all I got for this one. I will see you on the next one. Take care of yourself.